So, if you've been around the app formerly known as Twitter, you might have seen this image pop up without context on a lot of anime accounts. This is from the manhwa, The Horizon, and I wanted to talk about the ending of this manhwa and how it broke me. The Horizon is a small manhwa series by Jung Ji-hoon. I was surprised to learn that this is the creator of The Boxer. This means that this guy has made two of my favorite manhwas. Nice. Don't worry, I will make a video of The Boxer in the future. I have an idea, I just need time. The Horizon follows the boy and the girl. Yeah, most of the characters do not have names, so deal with these type of names. The boy and the girl have a goal throughout the series of getting to the end of the road that they're walking on, and we see their adventure throughout walking this path. Oh, by the way, massive spoilers. I don't want to spoil this for you guys because I want everybody who hasn't read this to just read it before I explain the ending, because it would be much better if you guys just read the ending itself without me spoiling it, because holy shit, you'll see why. So with the context out of the way and the spoiler warning away, let us begin. We start out with the boy and the girl making it to the end of the path, but there's still a forest in front of them. So they walk into the forest. After a while of walking and the road disappearing more and more, our party meets two new people. Boy in the forest and girl in the forest. Yeah, I know these names suck. Bear with me. And after having an average greeting in America, they're staring at each other before they're ready to shoot. But the other one tells their partner that it's not worth killing each other. As they lower their weapons and are about to be allies, tragedy strikes. A missile hits where they're standing, killing the forest boy and the girl, leaving the forest girl and the boy alone. The boy is standing there speechless while looking at the girl. Meanwhile, the forest girl can't take losing her partner, so she takes the forest boy's gun and shoots herself. We see the boy standing there thinking about what just happened before he keeps walking. He keeps walking until he makes it to his goal, the horizon. After that, he walks towards the water, and we see him looking at his hand covered in blood, and he starts thinking about the girl. After that, he starts breaking down, with one of the few times the series has actually used color to reflect something. Even though this is minimal coloring, it's still coloring nonetheless. Afterwards, it goes back to black and white, and the boy faints from fatigue. And during that, we see the military saving him, and that's how the chapter ends. But there's still more to the story. We get a time skip, and the boy is now an old man, alone and living on the beach of where he made it years ago. We see him living every day without purpose and waiting for the day he can die. While going through the forest one day, he finds a tent, and after that he stumbles across the owners of the tent, a couple who are called the Seaside Boy and the Seaside Girl. Names aside, the boy holds them at gunpoint, but they remind him of the forest couple from back then, and he lowers his gun and excuses himself. The couple goes to where the old man is and offers him some fruit, but he keeps refusing. Eventually they just leave the basket at his house. We see the boy laying on his bed later that night, reminded of the girl and crying himself to sleep. The next morning he finds the seaside couple's basket and actually eats the fruit before returning their basket. They look happy that he ate the fruit, and we get a montage of the three spending time together, to the boy's dismay. We then see the three having found a guy who's about to die and is afraid of dying. After the guy dies, they make a burial for him, and the boy thinks about how everything is futile. We then see the boy thinking about the past and talking to the seaside couple about life and death. Afterwards, the old man thinks about when he's going to die. Meanwhile, the seaside couple are walking on the beach, thinking about their unborn child's future. And as they're talking about it, we see a wave hit them, taking the seaside boy with it. The seaside girl cries, and the boy goes out to see what happened. He looks at the ocean, thinking about if this is the end. After thinking about the girl and all that he has lost, he rushes to the water to save the seaside boy. As he dives in, he sees a reflection of his past self, and him diving to see the seaside boy is a reflection of him saving his past self. After he gets the seaside boy, we see him confused of where to go, before we get a few pages of blank nothingness. But then he says that he has to believe in love, as he takes the seaside boy upwards to the surface. When he reaches the top, he sees the sunlight, art, which is colored so strong that it symbolizes the boy having found a new purpose in life and that he can move on from his past traumas. We then get a small time skip and see the seaside couple's kid having been born and her calling the boy for grandpa. The child and her grandpa find a whale, and when she asks if it's going to die, we see the grandpa saying that it will, but tells her to hug it and tell it to rest. Afterwards, we see the four, who are now a family, spending time together. We then see the boy taking a boat to fish and looking at the sky, and we see his younger self floating in the water, and then we get the boy's hand holding and saving his younger self, symbolizing that he has overcome his traumas. Throughout the Horizon, we have seen a strong anti-war message being shown. War is the reason why the girl and the forest boy died. War is why the seaside couple have had a few limbs that are gone, and war is why the boy has had trauma for most of his life. War is never a good thing. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to say that. And the Horizon is a great showing of the consequences of war, trauma, harm, and death. The reason why I wanted to talk about the Horizon is because when I first read the ending of the series, I was shocked. But upon rereading, I realized why stories like The Horizon is here and is very important in our current climate to show us what happens with war and how it will affect young kids and how war has never led to anything good. I know for as long as we're humans, war and conflict will be inevitable, but I'm glad that we have series like The Horizon to show us the horror of war.